It is a land where the Earth has been pushed to its absolute limit, a geography defined by collision. Here, the Indian tectonic plate, driving north for millions of years, crashed into Eurasia with such violence that it crumpled the crust into the sky, creating the greatest concentration of high peaks on the planet. But this violence is not just geological, it is historical. This is the corridor of invasions, the gateway where the armies of Alexander, the hordes of Genghis Khan, and the caravans of the Silk Road all funneled through the mountain passes, leaving behind a sediment of culture, blood, and belief. It is a country that stretches from the primordial waters of the Arabian Sea to the frozen roof of the world, a vertical journey through time itself. Pakistan is a country of vertical extremes. It forces the eye to travel from the ocean floor to the stratosphere. It is a land that has been walked upon by every major figure of ancient history, yet it remains untamed. The geology shapes the destiny here. The mountains protected the valleys, allowing unique languages and cultures to survive in isolation. The rivers fed the plains, allowing empires to rise. It teaches the traveler that beauty is not always soft. Sometimes it is jagged, harsh, and overwhelming. It teaches that history is not just in books, but in the genetic memory of the people and the very shape of the stones. To travel here is to witness the earth in its most dramatic upheaved state, and to see how humanity has carved a home into the precipice. Contrary to that dizzying chaos and noise across Pakistan in general, Islamabad is the name of a surprising tranquility and geometric order. Built from scratch on a grid plan in the 1960s at the lush foothills of the Margalla Hills, this capital represents the modern and bureaucratic face of the country. With its wide boulevards, orderly parks, and diplomatic seriousness, this is virtually a breathing stop in the middle of chaos. The structure that dominates the city's skyline and soul is undoubtedly the Faisal Mosque. Unlike classic domes, this structure is the symbol of Islamabad, with its sharp, modern lines resembling a desert Bedouin's tent and its pencil-like minarets rising to the sky at its four corners. With the dark green mountains behind it forming a backdrop, this white marble giant proclaims Pakistan's traditional faith to the sky in the language of modern architecture. If Islamabad is the country's planned logic and brain, Lahore is indisputably its fiery and unceasingly beating heart. That famous saying local people proudly recite summarizes the soul of this city. One who has not seen Lahore has not been born. This is the living heritage of the Mughal Empire, the undisputed capital of culture, art, and food. While walking through the narrow and winding streets of the city, the dust of centuries, the smells of freshly baked bread, and a never-ending human energy mingle together. The brightest jewel in the city's crown is the Badshahi Mosque, built of red sandstone, which, with its massive courtyard, was once the largest in the world. At sunset, the crimson stones of this structure glow as if set on fire by the last rays of the sun, and stand in salute to the power of the Lahore Fort right across from it. However, Lahore is not merely about stone buildings. This is an empire of flavor. Lahore is the place where the splendor of the past and the chaos of the present embrace most passionately. On the shores of the Arabian Sea, a giant that never sleeps, never stops, and never falls silent. Karachi is Pakistan's former capital, its current economic engine, and the famous City of Lights. This is a massive melting pot where people from every corner of the country and every ethnic background chase bread and dreams. This metropolis, whose population is greater than many countries in the world, possesses a raw, unfiltered, and ruthless energy. The skyscrapers of the financial centers and the stone buildings from the British colonial era form the city's complex identity. The deafening noise of the traffic, the salty humidity coming from the sea, and the cries of street vendors are Karachi's unique symphony. This place does not promise a touristic tranquility. This is the place where life flows in its fastest, hardest, and most real form, where the pulse of Pakistan's economy beats. At the northwestern tip of Pakistan, in the shadow of the legendary Khyber Pass, lies a city where time flows heavier and dustier. This is Peshawar, one of the oldest living cities in South Asia and the ancient gateway to Central Asia. This is that border outpost where merchants, conquerors, and travelers throughout history caught their breath before entering South Asia, where cultures and genes blended. Completely disconnected from Pakistan's fertile plains and humid coasts, hidden inside a natural bowl formed by arid and majestic mountains, lies the country's harshest and most resilient face. This is Quetta, the capital of the Balochistan province and Pakistan's fruit garden. The Chiltan, Zargun, and Takatu mountains surrounding the city are like massive walls that isolate it not only geographically but also climatically. with its bone-chilling winds in winter and scorching dryness in summer. This is a geography where nature constantly tests man. However, a surprising abundance lies beneath this hard shell. These arid valleys grow the country's sweetest apples, grapes, and pomegranates. The city's streets are filled not only with fruit stalls, but also with the smoky and tantalizing scent of sadji, the signature lamb meat of Balochistan cooked for hours over a slow fire. Quetta is also a city of great pain and resistance. This city, which was leveled and wiped off the map in 1935, was rebuilt stone by stone thanks to its stubborn people. This is Pakistan's Wild West, where trade, smuggling, and border life blend. Pakistan's geography is like a dramatic stage oscillating between the most vertical and most horizontal extremes of the Earth. In the north, the Himalaya, Karakoram, and Hindu Kush mountain ranges, accepted as the roof of the planet, interlock to form a vertical wall that seems impossible to cross. Hosting the longest glaciers outside the polar regions, this region is a wild terrain where an endless winter reigns. However, this icy kingdom also hides the country's lifeline within it. Fed by melting snows, the Indus River traverses the country from north to south like Pakistan's spine. When the river escapes the harshness of the mountains and reaches the vast plains of Punjab, it creates a fertile agricultural basin that scatters life around it. As one descends further south, green gives way to yellow. The scorching deserts and arid plateaus of Sindh and Balochistan are lands where nature's generosity gives way to a ruthless dryness. This geographical contrast finally ends on the shores of the Arabian Sea, at the point where desert sands meet ocean waves. Although the name Pakistan has not yet completed a century on maps, the lands upon which it is founded are one of the oldest pages of human history. The story, starting with the Indus Valley civilization, sowed the seeds of civilization thousands of years ago in the baked brick streets of Mohenjo-Daro. Throughout history, this place has been a corridor where armies, ideas, and religions paraded. Everyone from Alexander the Great's armies to the Arab conquerors who carried Islam to the subcontinent has left indelible traces on these lands. This geography, which lived its golden age in art and architecture during the Mughal period, later came under the sovereignty of the British Empire, but experienced its real dramatic turning point in 1947. The new borders drawn on maps with the withdrawal of the British triggered one of the largest and most painful mass migrations history has ever seen. From within this chaos where millions of people were displaced, an independent state was born, shaped by Muhammad Ali Jinnah's vision and where South Asian Muslims determined their own destiny. So, is Pakistan safe? This is a very valid question, but unfortunately, there is no clear answer to this. Pakistan is a very large country harboring countless different regions, ethnic origins, and subcultures. Treating it as a whole would be a big mistake. Therefore, I decided to write an analysis from a travel perspective that will show travelers traveling to Pakistan what the current situation is, which regions are safe, and why they are safe, and also including a few additional tips that I hope will help you stay safe during your visit to Pakistan. Tourism in Pakistan has increased by 317% since 2014. This is an easy figure to believe, especially when you see the numerous content creators promoting tourism in Pakistan recently. For this reason, and inevitably, the internet today is full of all kinds of opinions regarding traveling in Pakistan. And while some of these are particularly true, others are weak and written by travelers who spent only a few days in the country, claiming that Pakistan is one of the safest countries in the world, or that they felt very safe during their visits. Seriously, what does feeling safe mean? Unfortunate events like car accidents, kidnappings, and terrorist attacks tend to occur unexpectedly the moment you feel safe, no matter which country you are in. Therefore, it would be a bit naive to say that you felt safe just because nothing happened. We love Pakistan, but unlike many travelers who have been there, I will not come and tell you that Pakistan is one of the safest countries in the world. Most parts of Pakistan are completely safe. They are becoming safer day by day. But you must know that the country also contains some dangerous regions and that even in some tourist areas, the police can assign you an armed escort for free. They do not provide this service to a random stranger for fun because there could potentially be a real threat. However, although controversial, some regions of Pakistan are safe for tourists, and if you travel a bit more carefully, you will definitely have one of the most magnificent experiences of your life. Every person must definitely visit these lands at least once in their lifetime. Thank you for joining me on this surprising and prejudice-shattering journey in Pakistan. While preparing this film, I felt again and again how vibrant and hospitable a heart actually beats behind that gray and chaotic frame we frequently see on screens. From Lahore's spice-scented narrow streets to the icy peaks of the Karakoram that make one feel tiny, this is a country not only of contrasts but also of deep harmony. Pakistan is much more than a name stuck in news bulletins. It is the homeland of people who share their last bread with the guest sent by God knocking on their door, of a deep Sufi culture, and of untouched wild nature. This is an infinitely layered geography that deserves to be approached with curiosity rather than fear, to be understood, and most importantly, to be seen as it is. If this sincerity and hidden beauty resonated with you, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to continue exploring together, subscribe and join us on our next adventure. Finally, I want to honor this deep-souled country with these words of their spiritual architect and great poet Muhammad Iqbal, inspiring the spirit of discovery. Beyond the stars, there are still other worlds. They managed to create their own sky even amidst difficulties. Explore the world. Discover the extraordinary. See you on the next adventure. Vast Wonder presented, and we love you very much.